What's up, YouTube? So coming at you today with my #1 pro tip for building soil no matter where you are, and especially here in Florida with our sandy soils. Alright guys, today's video is going to be about mulch, and I think the main thing I want to get out there to you guys that is not all mulch is created equal. There's a huge difference between that stuff you're going to buy from a landscape supply place, that stuff you're going to buy in a bag at Home Depot, and the #1 pro tip I'll give you is never ever buy dyed mulch. Don't buy red mulch, don't buy black mulch, don't buy bag mulch at all unless it's just an emergency situation. So the kind of mulch that we're looking for here in Florida is this stuff that's sitting here behind me. I'm going to talk about this for a second. So this is local tree mulch. This has twigs in it, this has leaves in it, and this has hardwood in it. So what that's doing for us is it's giving us that carbon nitrogen ratio. We're getting the green with the leaves and the twigs, and we're getting the hardwood kind of to break that stuff down a lot quicker. So when we go to the box store, that's pure wood. It doesn't have those leaves in it. It doesn't have those twigs in it. Typically it's cypress mulch. So, you know, here in Central Florida, that pioneer species, that climax species is oak. So that means that bacteria, that fungi, it's already present in our soil to break this stuff down. So in our food forest systems with growing fruit trees, with growing perennials, you know, we're focusing on a fungal-based dominant soil. You know, we're trying to build soil here. So everybody knows in Florida, you know, we don't have soil. We have sand. It's pretty much crap, you know. So my #1 amendment for building soil is mulch, and it's tree mulch. I mean, this stuff is waste. This stuff is something that tree companies actually have to pay to get rid of, you know. So it's kind of like one of those one man's trash is another man's treasure. You know, luckily, since we've gotten this back 5 acres here at the farm, I have much better access to get tree companies in here. I'm getting a couple of loads a week right now. I mean, it's quite amazing. This load you see sitting here behind me is maybe 2 weeks old. This is very, very fresh mulch. The one on the other side is a few months old. The one over there is about a year old. You know, these are all different stages. And in the beginning of the video, you guys saw me here on the tractor. And really, the only thing I use the tractor for is to build those piles up. You don't have to turn mulch for it to break down. It's not like compost. We don't have to turn it. It's going to naturally break down on its own. And I'm going to show you right here behind me how a little bit of this has already started to break down. So you can see here, I mean, this is, you know, a few week old material and it's covered in fuzz. And, you know, some people will see this and be like, oh, we have a fungus. You know, that's not a bad thing. That's actually a good thing. We want to promote fungal dominance and fungal life in the soil. You know, this mycelium that you see starting on here, this web, is actually holding this entire clump together. You know, this mulch isn't sticking together for any other reason other than being broken down. That mycelium's breaking that down. And we look at mycelium as the internet of the soil. You know, if you want to get into mushrooms and mycelium, look at Paul Stamets. He's like my mentor in this. I've learned a lot from him. So when we see a mushroom, we look at the mushroom as like the apple on the apple tree. The entire root system of the tree is this mycelium web. It actually allows plants to communicate. It can take water out of the air, so it takes humidity and transpires it into water in the soil. So during our really dry season, when we have living soils that are fungal dominant, you know, we could take that moisture from the humidity and put it back down into the soil. This is like the communication web. So it's 2019. If we don't have internet in the soil, what do we have? So, you know, this waste product, as you can see in here, I mean, this has the leaves, this has the twigs. Here's all that different material I was talking about. You know, this is making that breakdown process. So we have the hardwood, we have the leaves of the tree, we have the twigs of the tree. This is a game changer. You know, you could put 6 inches, you could put 12 inches. You can kind of look at the back to Eden method. You can't use too much mulch. It's just, can you find the mulch? So, you know, on all of our small scale systems, anything up to a couple acres, we always try to source mulch. Now what I'm trying to do on the larger scale projects is actually grow our mulch. So I'm going to be coming at you with a totally different video about this syntropic farming here very soon. But #1 game changer here in Florida, hardwood mulch. I would say look for that, you know, that dominant tree species, that pioneer species. For us, it's oak. Oak mulch is by far the best mulch you can get your hands on. I've even seen people have really good results for some of our invasive species like Brazilian pepper. If you get it before it seeds, that mulch can still be used. I know everybody gets scared they hear Brazilian pepper. Yes, you don't want that coming up in your garden, but if you do get it at the right stage, it can be used. Just over here on the other side, I have some mulch that's kind of palm tree dominant. I'll show you that real quick. So not ideal, but it's still gonna work. You know, I mean, a lot of these tree guys, there's palms all over Florida, native palms, you know, which is our cabbage palm. We've got queen palms, Washingtonian palms as we get further south. We've got royal palms, foxtail palms, just all different types of palms, Bismarck palms. So it's going to be very common to get a little bit of palm inside your mulch. This isn't a bad thing. It's just not going to be ideal. It doesn't break down as quickly. It does break down eventually though. So if you only have access to palm mulch, it's the only thing you can get your hands on for free, take it. You know, use what you can get, you know, especially when you have a chance to get these free products. So over here on this side, I'm going to show you some stuff that's a little bit more broken down. And you can see it almost looks like somebody literally sprayed white over the top of this over here, especially down towards the bottom where I just turned that part of the pile. But this area here, I mean, this is almost coated in like that white fuzz. You can see it's a little bit warm. It's kind of white on top. And it's breaking down. So this is gold. I mean, this stuff is like literally black gold. You know, my number one mistake here on the farm when I first moved in was buying a couple of semi-loads of organic compost to start my market garden. If I could have done that over again, I would have sourced hardwood mulch. I wouldn't have wasted thousands of dollars on good soil, because what happens is that good soil has nowhere else to go to become sand. This still has to become good soil before it comes sand. So the breakdown process is much slower. So as long as we're constantly feeding the soil, we constantly have that chop and drop going on with our system. You know, we're constantly going to be building this and supporting this. So when we get that thick layer of mulch down, you know, we don't have a lot of contour here in Florida. You know, everybody talks about putting swales in and retaining water. This is our living cistern. You know, the ground, when we get 10,000 gallons of water dropping out of the air in a rain event, that water is going to suck up in this mulch like a sponge. It's literally going to hold the water at that top level of the soil. So it is a living cistern, especially once we bring that fungal life. All right, so where did you get all this mulch? So the number one place to get mulch is from tree services, local tree services. Just Google, find those guys local in your area. Tell them how they have easy access to your property. Tell them that you're looking for mulch. Look for the guys trimming the power lines. Those guys are always looking for a place to dump. Number 3 would be talking to Chip Drop. There's a website called chipdrop.com. You can register your house on there. You can tell them what you're looking for. If you're willing to take a couple logs, definitely going to have a better chance of getting that mulch delivered. You know, a lot of times these guys get a couple logs in that load, and if you say no logs, you're not going to get the mulch. Number 1 tip for getting mulch, tip those guys. Give them $5, give them $10. Show them you appreciate them. They're going to come back. I know people that bring them out cold drinks. I know people that give them $5 every time they come. I text them all the time. I'll leave them a free plant. You know, no matter what it may be, if you show them you care, they're constantly going to bring you that stuff. All right, guys, I need to get back to work. I hope you enjoyed this quick video on mulch. Let me know what you think about these shorter format videos. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please go ahead and do so. Be sure to pound that bell to stay notified. And most importantly, pound dirt.